There's something magical about the essentials, a freedom from complexity. Allowing yourself the time to imagine, set your intention, and then go. This is Leica's M10-R, the new 40 megapixel color version of the M10 Monochrome. Hey everybody, I'm Hugh Brownstone for Three Blind Men and an Elephant, and today, as a completely biased Leicaphile, I want to talk briefly about this morning's announcement of Leica's M10-R. Though, by the way, if you don't already know the story, if you're not familiar with the channel, I'll put links to my previous Leica videos and my personal journey to Leica in the show notes down below. I think then you will truly understand. You can think of the M10R as the color version of the 40 megapixel M10 Monochrome, which makes it spectacular, except that it does have the Leica red dot in front rather than the Monochrome's simple flat-bladed screw. I guess, so you know which is which when you're in a hurry. I should live so long to have that particular problem. Of course, just one Leica is too dear for most of us to contemplate. I understand. Though, as I've said many times before, I do not begrudge Leica its pricing. It's what it takes to continue offering extraordinary low-volume, hand-assembled, and individually tested cameras while treating its employees as the heart of the company they are. It is wonderful that there are so many other excellent cameras on the market these days, many much more accessibly priced. Nonetheless, this is the third M10 variant since the original launched in 2017, the third time in as many years I find myself saying, okay, this is the M to replace the M8 I sold years ago. But all M's are extraordinary companions, each with its own appeal, digital or film. The M10P, for example, is a refined M10 with quieter shutter, touch interface, and built-in level. The M10D actually removes the screen but adds a faux film advance lever to offer the closest digital experience possible to a film M. And now, with the R, Leica gives us the digital M with the most image flexibility of all. Here's why the R appeals to me. 1. I have a very specific real-world desire for resolution beyond 24 megapixels. I want to be able to walk the streets of New York City with a compact prime attached to a compact camera with the room to crop the crap out of images in post. Like this. Two, although I am a black and white shooter, the ability to create a level of abstraction, the opportunity to marry soul to geometry, humor, paradox, love, and pain speaks to me in a profound way, I find myself shooting color more and more often. I don't fully understand what's going on inside of me, but I do recognize it's something more complicated than just color, and I like it. 3. Even if I print or display in black and white, and this may be non-obvious to some of us, I still want the color information, and you might too. It gives one the opportunity to color mix a black and white image in post that one cannot do the same way with a monochrome camera, the equivalent of using a red filter, say, with a black and white film to darken the sky, like this. Four, I've found myself shooting more at night, and the R's gain in low-light performance over the M10P, especially given the absence of any kind of image stabilization, may be material to what I want to do. Of course, your mileage may vary, and that's fine. But I will tell you that these same criteria were what kept me from an M10D last year. I do love that camera. Opting instead for the 47.5 megapixel IBIS-equipped autofocusing SL2, which is also fantastic, especially with this Monochrom 35. Or 90. I know. Which doesn't mean I've given up on an M. It was just a question of biding my time. That's because the M is, well, timeless, unobtrusive on the street in a way the SL2 is not, and with the tiny jewel-like M lenses, much smaller and lighter too. So light, in fact, that the M10R, with, say, an Elmar 24 3.4, the Summicron 50, and the APS Summicron 90, weighs about the same as my SL2 with that SL35 alone. A little less with the APS Summicron 75 or an older Elmar at 92.8. Most importantly for me, the M is a talisman, an inspiration, a direct physical connection to a century of human history, and some of the greatest images ever built. None of this is to say the M10R is perfect, but to me it is absolutely the pinnacle of digital M's thus far. Though, let's not get piggy. While I can't imagine ever needing or wanting more than 40 megapixels in an M, I'd still be delighted with any of the M10 variants, like this one. Still, speaking of being piggy. Okay, the M10R doesn't have the top plate engraving of the M10P, which I think, one data point, all M's should have. It's a matter of heritage, beauty, and talismanic impact. The M10R doesn't have the vestigial advance lever of the M10D either, which I now think all digital M's should have as well. It improves the handling without taking over the hot shoe, making it an ideal complement to the VisoFlex Type 20. Though, while we're on that subject, guys, can we get a new VisoFlex? Maybe using the 3.7 million dot OLED unit from the Q2, or better yet, the 5.7 million dot unit from the SL2? With a design vocabulary more consistent with that of the M? This would be the perfect accessory for anything longer than 75 or shorter than 28. A more powerful battery to go with it would be good. Which, now that I mention it, does make me wonder what impact pushing around those additional pixels will have, not only on battery life, but heat management. Just saying. Then again, none of the M10s do video, and I think that will prove helpful in this scenario. As I'm recording this, the M10R will be available at the end of this month, July, for $82.95, which, while $300 more than the base M10, is the same price as the Monochrom, and actually $500 less than the M10D and M10P.